Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Smart Learning 24/7, and my today's video will be about national eligibility test. And before I move on with my proceedings, if you want to get notifications of my further videos, please do subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon. So now moving on with our proceedings. So many people they have a doubt like what is this net all about. I would start up my proceedings with the abbreviation for this term net, which is National Eligibility Test. And this test is primarily meant for becoming assistant professor at a college or at a university. Okay, so the people who are aspiring to be an assistant professor at a college or at a university, then they should compulsorily or mandatorily complete or crack this test to be a faculty at a college or at a university. Okay, and who's the exam conducting authority for conducting this national eligibility test? The exam conducting authority or the organization is the NTA, which is National Testing Agency, and they have taken up this particular job of holding this national eligibility test since December 2018. And since then this particular national eligibility test is conducted in online mode. Okay, then who can apply? Like, so many people they have a doubt like as to who can apply for this national eligibility test. So I'll tell you the requisites as to who is eligible to apply for this national eligibility test. Okay, so the people who are coming under the category of general, they should have secured 55 percentage at their post graduation level. And the people who are coming under the reserved category, like the individuals belonging to OBC category, non creamy layer, uh, SC, ST, person with disability, the transgenders. So all these people who have secured a percentage of 50, they are eligible to apply for this national eligibility test for assistant professor at college or university. Okay, and there are a few individuals so who have a question that like I am pursuing my post graduation or I am awaiting my final year's result. So am I eligible to apply for this test? So many have a query or a doubt. Yes, you are eligible to apply. That is the people who are going through their post graduation phase, or the people who are awaiting their post graduation results, they are eligible to apply for this national eligibility test. But the condition is that, like, after the declaring of this result, like assume like if you are taking up your net exam by June 2020, and if you get your results by July some date like by 2020, you have got 2 years of time from the time of declaring of your result. From that particular duration, you have got 2 years time to complete your post graduation and to get or to secure the required percentage of marks. So if you belong to general category, then you got to have 55% age of marks, and if you belong to some reserve category, then you got to have 50 percentage of marks. Okay, and one more query from your side may be, can I round off? Like if I get like 54.9, can I round it off to 55%? No, rounding off it is not a possibility at all. You got to get a straightforward percentage of 55 percentage or above, only then you are eligible to apply for this national eligibility test. Okay, and which subject you can offer? Like there are a few subjects which is not being offered by the national testing agency. Like for now, they are holding this national eligibility test for somewhere around 81 or 81 subjects. And if your subject is not there in that particular list, no issues, no problem, you can take up your national eligibility test in one of the related disciplines. So I can give you an example. Like if you are doing your post graduation in corporate secretaryship, like MCOM CS, if you are doing up, that is not offered by a national testing agency, that is not there in the subject list for your net. Then you can take up your national eligibility test for commerce, and if you complete your national eligibility test in commerce, then you are eligible to teach for corporate secretaryship students at college and at university level also. So that is the thing. Okay, So now the next question which arises is why net is conducted. So what is the reason behind holding of this net? So there are a fair enough reasons as to why is this net being conducted. The first and foremost reason is that in order to be a assistant professor at a college or at a university, this net exam is conducted. So that is the primary reason. Okay, so in order to be a faculty or at a college or at a university, this particular net exam is conducted. And the second reason behind conducting of this net exam is that there are a few people like they want to do their doctoral degrees, like it can be like master of philosophy or it can be doctor of philosophy. So if you are interested in doing your research or carrying out your research for getting junior research fellowship, okay, for JRF also this particular test is conducted. Okay, and in this particular session, that is by June 2020's session, one more additional component has been added, that is in order to get fellowships of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment or Minority Affair. Like they have a list actually for getting national fellowship for scheduled students, for getting national fellowship for OBC students, for getting Maulana Azad national fellowship for minority candidates also. This test can be taken as a base. Okay, so from this it is very much clear that for getting the qualification to be an assistant professor at a college or at a university, and for getting JRF, that is junior research fellowship, and for getting various fellowship of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, this particular net exam is being conducted. Okay, and if you look into the validity part, if you become an assistant professor, that is if you qualify the cutoff for being an assistant professor, then the validity of this test it will be for lifetime. Okay, and if you tend to clear this particular national eligibility test for JRF, then the duration will be for 3 years. Okay, so now the examination pattern, as to what is the examination pattern. So if you look into the mode of examination, this particular national eligibility test it is being held in online mode, and two papers you will have to attempt or take up, paper 1 and paper 2. So paper 1 it comprises of 50 questions altogether. You will have 50 questions, and what will be the subject matter of this particular paper 1 will be like you will have topics relating to teaching research aptitude, then you will have topics relating to reasoning ability, then reading comprehension, divergent thinking, general awareness. So these will be the core areas of your paper 1, and it will be encomposed of 50 questions. Then moving on with the second paper, it will be composed of 100 questions, and this particular paper will be there for testing your domain knowledge in the subject selected. So assume if you have selected commerce as your subject of specialization, then in order to check your domain knowledge in commerce subject, the questions will be asked. So whichever subject you have chosen, then from that thing you will be having questions in this paper too. Okay, and if you look into the duration of both these papers, so both these papers you will have to attempt within a duration of 3 hours without any break. Okay, so you will be given like somewhere around 180 minutes, 3 hours duration without any break to complete both these papers, paper 1 comprising of 50 questions and paper 2 comprising of 100 questions. And each question it carries 2 marks each. So paper 1 it will be for 100 marks, and paper 2 it will be for 200 marks, and there are no negative markings in this. So if you look into the various competitive exams which are being conducted, there will be negative markings in that, but in the case of your national eligibility test there is no negative markings. So if you attempt a question and if it is a wrong answer, then no marks will be deducted from your right answers. Okay, so that was the information relating to your examination pattern. Like how to apply for this national eligibility test, so many people they have a doubt. So when you're applying for this national eligibility test, you have two options. Like first option will be that like you can exclusively apply for only assistant professorship at college or at a university. If not, you have got one more option, which is JRF and assistant professor. And a few people again, they have a clarification that, like, if I apply for JRF and assistant professor, and JRF, it has got a higher amount of cutoff marks, so if I do not fulfill the criteria for JRF, so will I be conferred assistant professor, or will I be passing assistant professorship or not, the net for assistant professorship or not? You may have a doubt. Yes, you will definitely pass. Like, you can either apply for assistant professor only. If not, you can apply for JRF and assistant professor. If you meet the cutoff of your JRF, then well and good, you will be conferred your JRF, and also you'll be conferred your net for assistant professor as well. So if you are not fulfilling the cutoff of your JRF, and if you are fulfilling the cutoff of your assistant professor, then you will be bound to be declared as an individual who has completed net for assistant professor. So there is no need to panic that, like, if I apply for JRF and if I do not meet the cutoff, so will I be given an opportunity or not to be an assistant professor? Definitely you'll be given. If you fail to get the cutoff of your JRF, if you fulfill the cutoff of your assistant professorship, then definitely you will be you will be eligible to be a professor at a college or at a university. Okay. So if you look into the age limit, so if you are exclusively applying for an assistant professor, there is no age limit whatsoever. Even at the age of 56 or 57, you can give a try at your assistant professorship net for your assistant professorship. There is no problems whatsoever. But if you are giving a shot at JRF, if you want to be a junior research fellow, and if you are applying for this junior research fellowship, then the maximum age limit will be 30 years. Okay, so if you are within the uh, age limit of 30 years, then you can apply for JRF, and there are a few relaxations as well. Okay, so if you belong to general category, then until 30 years you can apply for JRF, and if you have exceeded that limitation, then you cannot apply for JRF. Secondly, the people who are coming under the reserved category, that is like OBC, SC, ST, and the transgenders and the persons with the disability, so they are given a relaxation up to 5 years. And also the people who are uh, into armed forces, okay, based on the services which they have, based on the service which they have rendered in armed forces, it will be decided whether to give them the 5 years of relaxation or not. And one more classification is for one more relaxation actually is for the people with LLM degree, that is they'll be given a relaxation up to 3 years. Okay, so this was with regard to the age limit for your JRF. And for assistant professor, there is no age limit whatsoever. And if you look into the reservation policy, like the government of India has a reservation policy for people or individuals belonging to different categories. Like if you are under OBC category, non creamy layer, then the reservation policy is for 27 percentage. If you fall under SC category, then the reservation is for 15 percentage. If you are falling under ST category, then the reservation is for 7.5 percentage. And one more new category which has been added is general category. Okay, general category, economically weaker section, EWS we call it in short. For those people it is 10 percentage. Okay, and remember, for each of this category, 4 percentage reservation is meant for physically challenged people or the person with disability. Okay, so I have told you somewhere around 4 categories, and under all these categories, if there are any people or individuals who are physically challenged or with some kind of disability, then 4% reservation is there for these people under the different categories as well. Okay, so if you look into the fees details for now, for general category people, like it is 1,000 rupees they'll have to pay. And for economically weaker section and for OBC candidates, it will be like 500 rupees. And for SC, ST, And PWD, that is persons with disability, and the transgenders, they'll have to pay 250 rupees. And along with this prescribed fees, they'll have to pay GST and processing charges also. Okay. And if you look into the results, how is this results being declared? The criteria will be like the number of candidates to be qualified shall be 6% of the candidates appeared in both the papers of net. That is already I have told you during the initial times of this video. That is the individual who is taking up this net, they'll have to attempt two papers, paper 1 and paper 2, and the individual should have attempted both the papers. And from those number of people, like 6% will be declared qualified. And what is the minimum cutoff which you will have to fulfill will be that if you belong to general category, then you got to get 40 percentage of marks in paper 1 as well as in paper 2. And if you belong to any reserve category, then the minimum cutoff will be to meet 35 percentage in your paper 1 as well as in paper 2. Okay. So if you meet, if you are in general category 40%, if you are in reserve category then 35%. This is a minimum cutoff which each and every person has to meet in order to be under the qualified list. Okay. And based on the reservation policy of the government, the slots will be allocated. Okay. And they have a formula to calculate the slots, like what will be the cutoff based on which they are declaring a person who have qualified or not qualified. So they have so many different things. And we have got a few subjects which are very popular, and we have got a few subjects which are a bit not that familiar, which are not being offered by majority of the universities. And you got to remember one thing in mind, like if you are taking up this national eligibility test only for the sake of assistant professor, then if you come under the category of general, so you got to get a percentage of 60% or above. And if you are coming under the category of some reserve category, then you got to ensure that you should come under the purview of 55 to 60%. Like if you are under general category, having a like marks, scoring marks more than 60% is well and good. And if you are coming under some reserve category, having a mark level of 55 percentage and above is always good if you are under reserve category. Okay, so I hope that you might have got a fair enough idea as to who is eligible to apply for this national eligibility test, what are the various criteria to be met out. Okay, so if you are happy, or if you are convinced with this video, please do subscribe to my channel, and please do click the bell icon. And if you have got any queries or clarifications to be made, please feel free, leave a comment in the comment box section. Definitely I'll respond to your queries, and I would be very happy to clarify the doubts and the queries which you have got. Okay, so if you want any other videos relating to this national eligibility test, on any topics related to your national eligibility test, you can drop a comment in the comment box section. Definitely I'll try my level best to make a video on that particular topic as well. Okay, so hope I might have fulfilled the need of this hour. And one more thing which I would like to say before I wind up with my proceedings of this particular video, the date for your applying of your national eligibility test, it has been extended. Like today happens to be April 16th, so this happened to be the last date for applying for your national eligibility test. But the NTA, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, they have actually like postponed the level because due to the pandemic so widespread in our country, they have postponed the application submission date by 1 month. You still have got one more month, like till 15th of May you can apply for your net exam. Okay, and you can pay your due fees, whatsoever is related based on your category. Okay, so hope that you might have understood the basics of your national eligibility test. Meet you guys with one more video very soon. Thank you, one and all.